Hi, welcome to radiofm 88 Australia. This is Jeffreyshaw speaking. I'm the one in the middle of the three delightful boxes here. Obviously, I've got a lady behind me and one below me. So, without further ado, it's 7 o'clock in Queensland, it's 8 o'clock in New South Wales and Victoria. It's our friends across in New Zealand, it's 10 o'clock over there. And of course, our guest today, is from Germany, 10 o'clock in the morning there. And of course, Andrena, and my fellow co-host, is 9 o'clock in the morning in the UK. So without further ado, I'll pass you on to Andrena.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Sandra, for coming on the show. I apologise in advance. I've got a husky voice. I've got come back with a little cough. So, yes. So I was sent a person shared one of your activations, and I thought, oh my God, your voice was just amazing. It was just so powerful. So I started following you, and because I work with people with speaking voice, great advocate today, eh? um, it fascinates me how people found their voice, how it came about. Did you do training? Were you gifted? Was it from a family member? And I know you do amazing, colors and sparklies and all of these sort of things. I'm not very
Yeah,
technical.
thank you.
Would you like to enlighten us how it all started, really?
Oh, I started a couple of years ago. I started to sing. So I never had training, but I felt that since I'm a child that I want to sing. Yeah. So time after time, I practiced by my own. And after I had my own flat, so then I started to sing. When I turned in the middle of 20, so 25, 26, I started to sing. For real, yeah. And with light language, I started to sing in light language maybe for 2 years ago or 1 year ago. It came intuitively up, and I started to sing intuitively.
Wow, amazing. You have to tell me about that one then. I don't know about that. Um, what was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, because you're doing stuff, I think, nearly every day. There's a different channeling or light language coming through. You
Yeah,
certainly, you certainly
yeah.
got a lot of variety. So it must take up a lot of your time to do all these things. And
Yeah, it happens very spontaneously. So when the impulse is saying, I want to sing, I want to talk, then I record it. So then I have my cell phone with me, and then I start to sing and start to talk. So yeah, many different speeches are coming through.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I could hear like different energies, if you like. And I know you've got a huge following with the work that you do, and it's sort of growing and growing and growing. So let's go back a little bit. You were born in Germany,
Hmm.
and were your parents on this same sort of wavelength, or into singing or anything like that, or are you
Um,
odd
hmm.
one in the family?
Yeah, one of my family members was musician. Yeah, so
Mm.
it is from a family lineage. Yeah, there were musicians. Yeah,
So
and one of
that's
these members was musician. I think so. It comes from this lineage. Yeah.
mm, mm, amazing. So what if we track back again into your early days, because I know you've shared about what you used to see and sense. So, would you like to share some of what you experienced in your younger days?
When I was a child, how
Mm.
okay. I felt since I'm a child that my soul is not from here. So, but I never could explain it when I was a child. But only what I felt was a deep answer in my heart that I'm not from here. And nobody told me that. No family member or friends. I felt it in my heart very deeply. And I spent so much time in searching up from my home all the time. I looked up to the stars, then I searched up in books from my home. I studied astronomy books. All the time I searched up for the stars because I wanted to figure out where my home is all the time. Yeah. And I went through the typical starseed loneliness as well. And I did so much. I studied so many books. I went to the psychologist. I read books about personality development because my deep answer, I wanted to find out what's going on with me. And even the psychologist or books about personality development, they helped me up to a certain point. But these books never explained my connection to ETs, because I saw them also when I was a child. I saw the entities, and it was, I have to say, my childhood was very lonely. I felt very alone. Yeah.
Yeah. So what other pathways came in to bring you into where you are now, to
Yeah.
really being fully present?
Yeah. At the end, I'm very grateful for all these stages that I read so many books about psychology or about personality development, because it helped me to understand the other stages, the other levels of consciousness, right? So body, mind, and soul. So at the end, I'm very grateful even for these experiences, even when they were never able to explain my connections to ETs, or why do I feel entities, why I feel not home here, or that I had all the time visions of other planets. So, but it helped me. And when I turned into 24 or 25, maybe, a good friend shared a video with me. It was a video about Syrian starseeds. Then I was guided for the first time to starseeds, but I had no idea what it is. So even English was very complicated for me as well. So has starseed Syrian, what is that? But my friend told me I have to watch this video. This is all what he shared with me. Yeah, and these are the Pleiadian and Octarian people now.
And have you come across many people, or many people, that now know they're not from this planet, they're from other planets, and we're all coming together on a soul tribe level to, make the difference on the planet?
Yeah, after I had my awakening, so then I was aware of all these connections. So then it explained my whole life. I cried during this video. It was a video about Syrian starseeds. And after I had my awakening, because it explained everything, so my whole life, my feelings, then I was guided intuitively to the people. Even in Germany, I met all the time starseeds and light workers. So intuitively, we were guided to each other, and that was very fascinating. Yeah, when the heart was open, so then all these beautiful meetups happened, and then I was guided to Marcel, to my twin flame as well. So because it was my awakening. Yeah.
So what age did you meet Miss Marcel? When did he come into your life, and how did you know he was your twin flame? Did you just, come together and as ones, so to speak?
Can you explain it again, please?
All right. When did you two come together?
Okay, for 5 or 4 years ago now. So I can't count it because since we are together, we lose time and everything. So, but I think so. We are together for 4 years now, or 5 years. I'm not sure.
So did you have an instant connection when you came together? Did you know on every
Yeah.
level of your being that he was your twin flame?
Yeah, Marcel was not aware of. He got not a name for it, but when we saw each other, we had the same feeling. We looked into each other's eyes, and then we felt this deep connection. So, and then since these days, we feel this connection. So,
So, with all the different work you do, for people that, because obviously for what you do is a bit way out for some people to understand, and get a grip of. I mean, we're totally with you on every level, so no problem here. But for those that are not quite understanding, and I know a lot of my friends, we often joke and say we've been dropped off on the wrong planet,
yeah.
but we know we haven't, and we know we're here on a mission, etc., etc. So, what tips could you give anybody that are starting off or slowly awakening to what's going on in life and how it's affecting them and what changes they can make.
I think the global process now is that we train our heart center. So when we try to get it here with our mind, so then it makes no sense, even not light language. Because I receive also comments, can you translate this language? What does it mean? So, but actually we can't translate it because it's the language of the soul. And I use light language to translate the frequency of these beings because they are connected telepathically to each other. So many of them, they have no language like us, but for me, it's a tool to transmute their frequency. Yeah, and when we try to get all the subjects with our mind, so then we will not get it. Or maybe we will say, come on, this is not true. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's more important to open your heart and that we see a little bit through the eyes of a child again, that we are more curious. So that sounds interesting. Yeah, so I will study the subject a little bit more. So, and I think that's very important when people are new on the subject, that they are open-minded for the new subjects. Yeah, that we are tuned into it and that we open our hearts and that we feel what's going on. Yeah, because when we are too much conditioned by the 3D matrix, so then you will say, this is not true. That's a lie. They are only crazy, right? So, but when you go back into your heart, I think that's the most important tool.
Yeah, totally. And it's like learning to breathe again and put your hand on your heart, and it's like coming back to base, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You know, with all different, and I know I did listen a little bit last night to your heart one, and I thought I need to listen because that was quite long compared to your other ones. So I thought I need to listen to that maybe later today and tune in with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And what? So, can you share more about the ETs?
Oh,
Your
yeah.
that would
It
be
does.
lovely.
Yeah, it does exist many different species, so many different species. At the end, so even when we don't see it on the media, they are talking a little bit about it, right? So that they are in contact with ETs, even the government and so on, a little bit. But actually, that's the root. Yeah, it's the story of the galactic species, that they are observing us, or even dark species, right? That they controlled Earth as well. So actually, it's galactic, and that's for me the deep answer behind all this. What's happening now? It's a galactic spiritual war at the moment. So, and all what you can see on the media is lockdown, right? Bim bim, peaks, and so on. But this is not the deep answer. The deep root is the galactic war. So, and it does exist very lovely ones. They are supporting us. They are here for us. But it does exist also races. They mean it not so good with us, right? So, and this is what you can see. And even high sensitive people, they feel that something is strange energetically. We can't see it with our physical eyes, but many people feel it. So what's going on in the back, right? So, and this is what I can share with you. And it does exist so many different species, and they have so many different intentions. And for us humans, sometimes it's complicated to get their intentions as well. Yeah. But it does exist also species, they are very similar to us humans.
Yeah.
And they want to support us, or they were there before on Earth, or they created Atlantis or Lemuria. These were the founders of these high ancient civilizations. They were very involved. So in these beings, they know Earth very well, and they know humans very well. So, and they are helping and supporting us. Yeah. Yeah, they are very cool. So I was guided to this being. So it looks very cool. Yeah, and it does exist so many different species. So I guess almost nobody knows everyone. So
No.
because the galaxy is so big and we don't know how big the universe is, or maybe we have more universes. So, and they are very advanced in technology. So
Anything you want to ask Jeff? Anyone you'd like to?
Yeah, just you're really getting down there on the float. Hey, what I saw before was, hang on a sec, where are we? Let's go there. Was I just want to bring that up. This one here. This is recent, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a newer one. Yeah.
I was going to suggest that we might just give this about 3-4 minutes of airtime, just to give people a taste of what they could expect, because you really put this up on your YouTube channel, isn't it? So this, I mean, people can write that thing down, or they can come back and watch the replay and just make a note of it. But I'm quite sure if they go onto YouTube and just do Akura, Akura, they'll be able to come on it. But let's give this about, say, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then just give people an idea with your channeling, because that's I actually, when I heard it, I thought, oh, that sounds a bit like James Hurtak when he was in the great pyramids in Giza, in the chambers there. So it's quite surreal, isn't it? So let's have a look, let's have a go, and see what it's got to say.
I can't hear anything. No sound, is it?
It's okay. It's working also when there's no sound there. The effects are working.
That's very interesting, eh?
Okay, so what you're saying is that you're not getting any audio. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I had a very, it was very, I heard something, a noise, but it was very quiet.
Oh, it's got on full. Got on full there. Let's just carry on there, girls. Share the screen.
I mean, would you be able to do a live, spontaneous little?
Oh, hang on a second. Here we go.
All right.
Let's take that back. Oh, share it. Sorry. Coming up. Sorry, girls. Oh, there you go. Sorry. Let's try it again.
Be the eye of the storm.
Can you hear it?
The massive breakdown is happening. Trust your intuition. Your intuition will guide you. Take your power back. But it is feel the energy. Mit is it at ukdose. Feel your roots. Balancing the divine feminine and masculine. This is the 5D dimension. Be honest with your feelings. Share your authenticity with the word. Your heart is the gateway to the 5th dimension. See lights and shadows. Activate your roots. You are divine, met it we are humans like you, met it esse. Okt ot aha ak arishikt met it esse. Okt ho aheha. Bet et eonu urik iktis actis mot ot actisita. We love you infinitely. Det esse. Now it's your turn. Bet et e. You deserve it. Mat ikt ut o hok ase.
Thank you so much for sharing.
And I think it's important to bring out passion, and you certainly got the passion there, and certainly there's a resonance in your voice that you can feel it. I mean, with the headphones, it's just a surreal sound. Well, thank you for publishing it and putting it out there into the global community. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It is much fun to sing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all singers in our own way. So certainly like to use our voice in certain ways. But that's, as I said, it sounded like I was listening to James Hertag inside the
Yeah,
premonitions.
really.
Really strong resonance. Yeah. Okay, so Andrena just said, have you got any questions? So, okay, let's just start on the when you get into sort of a Zen place, is it? So you find your own little sanctuary at home, and then sort of just slowly but surely just get yourself into alignment. You just bring yourself. Are you using principles like Qigong, or are you using Tai Chi, or are you just a little breathing exercises? Or, what's your first steps to sort of get to that sort of space there where you got no space whatsoever? Is that the right word to say? Just in the empty space, and then boom.
Yeah, it comes up so and I do it very intuitively, so that I take a deep breath. So I'm a very intuitive person. And when my heart is telling me I want to play video games, so then I do not wait. Then I play video games. Yeah, so it's very hard to explain it. I trust only my impulses. So when my impulse is saying I want to go out, then I do it, because I think our heart, our soul is guiding us. So even when many choices makes no sense at the beginning, so at the end everything made sense. So
sure. So you got that monkey mind. That's really interesting, because I suppose a lot of people are actually thinking, well, I'd like to do that, or I really can't get into that Zen place, And a lot of ladies will talk to their husbands and say, well, what are you doing? Nothing. What's nothing? Well, nothing. So you just got to find that nothing space. So it's nice to hear you say that you want to do video games. So it's like the monkey mind sort of coming in there.
Yes, it's everything. Yeah. So when I tune into it, then I observe my thoughts as best I can, so that I figure out, why do I receive these thoughts? And the most of the thoughts, or when I feel destructive emotions, the most of that is not me. So then I feel the neighbors' stress, or the collective that they are stressed, or that do something in the government, because we empaths or starseeds, we feel that so close and so strong in our energy body, or when something is happening. Yeah. So, or that I receive visions. That's needs training to figure out, is it my emotion, is it my thought, or is it the thought of my neighbor, or of the collective, or what is the government doing? And then sometimes I'm guided to the information, and then I see the metaphor or the similarity. Oh, see, they made very strange decisions in the government. Then I can see the similarity. Oh, that's what I felt today. It was them. Yeah, I felt their plans or their energy. And it's very typical for empaths or starseeds, that we feel the energy so strong in our body. And this needs training to figure that out. That's more our process and problem. That we feel so much.
Yeah. So did you say you get the visions as well? So do you just allow the vision to sort of flow through you, or do you actually stop and just get a piece of paper and write, or do you just go and get a little recorder and just record what it is you've seen, and as you either write it or as you see it, are you unlocking your vision? Is that the technique that you're using, or?
They come through me, these visions, on many different levels. So through dreams, or I have very strong very colorful dreams, lucid dreams. Then I receive visions on this level. Sometimes, boom, it plops up, and then I got the impulse, yeah, now I channel or I record a video. It's the same with you too. Then I feel that, okay, now I received a message, I have to create a new YouTube video, for example. And it's hard for me to explain it because it's like, boom, it plops up. Sometimes I figure out, oh, my galactic family told me, right? They gave me this advice. So it's happening on many different levels, and it comes to me because I try my best to open my heart. And when my heart is open, so then I allow that the information is coming to me on many different levels.
So, so let's come back to all these different galactic beings and from different star systems and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's like on the phone there, you got an area code for your local German district, or if you want to make an ISD call to England, +44. So do you have some sort of system in your whole personality that tells you, okay, I've got a phone call coming in from Andromeda, or I've got a phone call coming from Pegasus, or I've got some coming from Arcturus? Have you got some sort of little switch that tells you where that call's coming from?
Yeah. I sense that very clear, yeah. If these are the Arcturian people, the Syrian people, Pleiadian people, Andromedan people, these are very well-known species who are supporting Earth very much. The Larian people as well. So these are the most common beings, I think so. And the most of the starseeds have connections to them, or these are Syrian or Pleiadian people. The most of the starseeds are from the Pleiades or Sirius, the most of them. So, and I can figure that very clear out, and even the dark ones as well when they try to attack, because their energy feels totally different. It's totally different. Yeah. Then I feel that also their energy when they try to interrupt or attack us.
So people will often talk about having a gatekeeper or a doorkeeper. In your case, you obviously, in the old days of businesses when telephones were just coming on, not like today was, the way we got mobile phones, but the phones would come in and you have a switchboard there, and you ring the central switchboard, and then they'll put you through the extension. So have you got someone who's acting as your switchboard for taking these phone calls? So you got your guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, comes in and says, okay, I'm going to get this phone call coming in Arcturus, or you just, that person that is acting on your behalf, who's looking after your interests, has given you those sort of little keys there that tells you, okay, we're going to sit down right this very minute. We've got someone coming through, and they're coming in from Arcturus, and you get a little tap on the left shoulder to let you know that that's where they're coming from. And if you get a tap on the right shoulder, you got Pleiadians. If you get a tap on the head, you got Sirius. It's just your switchboard operators putting through the phone call. Is that generally one way of interpreting what's going on with you?
Can you explain it again, please? I'm very sorry.
Okay, so in the old days of telecommunication and businesses, a phone call would come in, and unless you didn't know the extension, you'd come straight to a big switchboard, and there'd be an operator on it, and you'd say, "Could I speak to Akura, please?" And then they'll just get the phone, go plug it in here, and then they ring you, and then say you've got a phone call. Can you remember? Oh, I don't know. You're 33, aren't you? Probably not aware of that type of system of communication. Yeah. Probably the people who are watching the show probably have an understanding of what I'm explaining there, to sort of I'm just trying to get an understanding that your, say, guardian angel, your doorkeeper, is acting as a protection there, but they're also giving you insights to say, excuse me, we've got a phone call coming in from Sirius, and they give you a little tap like, okay, we've got an extension cord coming in here to plug in to say, listen, here, we've got a phone call coming in from Arcturus. I'm just trying to see if your body is a representation of your guardian angel who's acting as a switchboard operator, to give you some sort of clue that you got a phone call coming in from Sirius or Arcturus. So.
Yeah, I figured it out very, very clear and easily. So, and I can tune into it also. So then I can call the Syrian people or the Arcturian people, and then I feel it here, my crown chakra, and then I'm connected to them. Yeah, or I hear their voice sometimes as well. It's happening on many different levels. Yeah, I hear them. Sometimes I see them. I feel them. or then I see them in front of my third eye with my third eye, or I see them energetically in front of me on many different levels. So it's happening because it's happening, right? So or sometimes I have dreams of them as well, or I see myself as a galactic being in lucid dreams or in astral travel. So it's happening on many different levels.
That's good. Now, anybody who's watching the show and watching the replay then gets a grasp of where you're coming from, because somewhere along the line they're getting a similar way of doing it, but they feel like they're alone and they're not too sure what it is. You know, they're on the right path, or they're getting the right source. So that's one of the reasons Andrena brought you on the show today, was to awaken other people, and you're just showing your path that may enlighten other people who might be working alone as well, or might be with a small group somewhere on the planet, and you're just triggering them to understand there's many ways of getting that communication. I really appreciate that insight that you just given. You know.
Yeah, thank you very much. When it's helping people, I'm super happy and grateful.
Yeah, sure. Do you actually get to the point where they actually manifest physically, or is it just in the peripheral vision, or have you actually had any physical manifestations?
Yes, I receive visions, but when I was a child or a teenager, a young adult, time after time, I saw ships on the sky. So especially since this galactic war, I see all the time ships on the sky. So it has started last year. So we had a galactic war over Earth in April 2020. It has started, and many good friends saw this war on the sky, and so many starseeds or other people saw this war. Yeah, it was like Star Wars. So my feeling told me not to leave the house, but I felt it. These explosions, boom. I was so excited. I was not able to go to bed because I was so excited, and I got the advice that I have to be awake. So yeah, that is what I can share with you when I talk about physical manifestation that I saw, especially since last year, ships on the sky. That was crazy because a few days later, after this galactic war, I went for a walk every night because I was curious, because my friends told me, oh, did you saw this on the sky? It was so crazy. Star Wars is real. Oh my gosh. Then I was curious, and then I went out for a walk, and really almost every night I saw very high technical ships on the sky, or they looked like they were transparent, non-physical. And that was so amazing to observe that show on the sky. So when I talk about physical manifestation, then I can talk about ships.
Okay, right, yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
So of all the different galactic species, I mean, do many of them actually come forward to say that they are members of any particular galactic council?
Mm-hmm.
They did?
Yeah, they when I saw this on the sky, it for me it was like they were happy. So for example, I started to sing a light language in the middle of the night. So I don't know, I guess it was the Syrian light language. And I made this, yeah. And then I had the impulse, boom, yeah, because I received this pull in my heart. It's very strong. And then I got the information I have to watch out. I have to look up to the sky. And then after I started to sing in light language, a non-physical object appeared. And it looked like it was magenta and rose pastel a little bit. And it looked like a ghost. And it moved like that. So it was like they were happy. So because they celebrated us in the ascension, because they got it in higher dimensions, yeah, to protect us. And I observed this show all the time. And then I started to sing a light language, and then boom, I got the impulse to look up, and then this object appeared. So that was very magical. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So with your newfound gifts coming forth, I mean, you probably had those gifts and it just had to come to that point and trigger in your life where boom, it came in. I take it then, are you running workshops or classes, and because of the so-called issues we got at the moment, are you doing that on a Zoom or any of those other online?
No, maybe in future. I was thinking about it. Thank you for the reminder. No, at the moment I'm offering readings, starseed readings or past life readings.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is what I'm offering. Yeah, to help other starseeds to remember. So this is my main mission here: to remember starseeds, who they are.
Oh,
And
so
I-
you're triggering them, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very good. Andrena?
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw on one of your links that you were offering a discount to people for the month of December.
Yeah, the Christmas season. Yeah, that's my gift for all the subscribers. So yeah, they can use this code.
Yeah, because I think, was it 20% you were offering off of, all the different things that you do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I shared it on Facebook, this code, and I think also on YouTube, because there's the community group. You
yeah,
can send posts there also. Yeah, I shared it also there. So you will find the code there.
yeah. So just if any of the viewers are interested and would like to know more, then they can find you on your YouTube and on the link below. So yeah, and it's like often I walk out, not so much night now, but I often look up to the skies looking to see, because we know they're around, and I know there are those that can see them with their physical eye, and some that like you get the visions, and so I know there are many, because they are saying that we have won the spiritual war. We're on that balance of massive changes about to happen.
Yeah. And especially balancing lights and shadows again. We had too much darkness here on Earth, and even in higher dimensions, it was too dark almost everywhere. So they only want to bring back balance again, even to Earth. So and this is when people feel this between lights, shadows, this war, because we want to find balance and peace again. Yeah, and it's a galactic war in the back. So, and I figured out that they are attacking especially light workers in Starseed right now in the back energetically to stop them or to lower their frequency. So, and they're using that technology. So that's, they are masters in twisting teachings and attacking people and to figure out your weak points. So, what we can learn by the Dark Ones is that they never give up. They never give up, and we can do the same, that we continue, that we go forward, and that we share our light with humanity all the time. So, and this is what I observed by many lightworkers and starseeds, that they got attacked mostly right now by them in the back. So almost nobody sees is what we do all the time, because it's energetically.
Interesting, eh? I know, like, when I lived in Glastonbury, the lady I lived with, who was very psychic, and she used to, every time people would come, she always say, "This is Andrena from Andromeda."
Yeah.
But anyway, but then I know we've come from many planets. We haven't only come from like Sirius and all the different. We've done many lifetimes in many places, haven't we?
Yeah, the
And
most of us have more than one connection. So even when I create readings, the most of us have more than one connection. So but you will feel the basic line. So when you know your origin, it's like you know your childhood. So when we explain it in this language here, it's like, so then you know your childhood. So, and the childhood is very affecting us even when we are adults. So we still remember our home and where we grew up and how we grew up. So that is for me when you figure out your origin.
Interesting.
Almost the same energy dynamic,
Gosh.
There's so much to talk about.
I know is that you can go off on this tangent and that tangent, but I just love your voice activations. I love light language. The first time I heard it, and I was in Australia, and I was with a group of about 25 people, and the lady came round and she did a light language activation to each person.
Oh, cool.
And and you could tell the languages were completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Italian, French, Spanish, you could just hear the difference. And when she came to me, it was the dolphins, and she had them squeaking and doing all sorts of things. So it was like really magical. And I thought, wow, I don't think she knew that I had such a strong connection with whales and dolphins. But when they come through like that, it was pretty spectacular for me, anyway.
Oh, wow, that sounds interesting. Yeah, because we see the frequency and the energies. So when you are psychic, you can feel the entities and the energies by the person. So, and then you do it intuitively. So even when you don't know it, when you're not aware of that information, but we feel it, yeah? Because it's in our blueprint, it's the DNA. Yeah, and you can translate the blueprint in the DNA.
I've tried to talk dolphin language, but I sound more like a hamster. So, yes. Anyway, what was the other thing I was going to say? Hang on.
I'll come back to doing a reading, the Starseed reading. How do you talk us through that? How do you start with that proceeding, and what do you do?
How I did it? Do you want to know
no,
the process?
Now, someone comes into you and asks for a Starseed
reading. Yeah.
Just take us through the steps in what you do then when you got someone coming through. Now, obviously, we've got people all around the world watching, so obviously they'll be coming through on either Facebook Messenger, or they'll be coming through on YouTube, or they might be coming on Signal or Telegram or any other of these new platforms. Well, let's start with those platforms. What platforms do you actually use to do your readings when you got people not in Germany?
Yeah, I record it here on my computer and I send this files through WeTransfer. I use this platform. At the moment, I'm recording MP3 files for the clients. Yeah, and I have a website.
Okay, so I'll put that website up now. So you just send through an audio file, or you just do the video file when you send it to them?
Can you translate it again, please? I'm so sorry.
No, that's right. When you do the recording for them, do you do it as an audio file, an MP3, or are you doing it as a video MP4?
Yeah, MP3, it's an audio file.
You're doing an audio. Okay. And you do it through, what did you say?
WeTransfer.com. Yeah, that's a platform. Gotcha. You can upload fast there.
Yep, gotcha. Okay, so someone comes in, knocks on your door, sits down. How do you start your proceedings? How do you do the reading then? How does that all come about?
They send me a current photo, and then I tune into the energy. So when I take a look into the eyes, or I scan the aura, the frequency, it's helping me to connect with the higher self when I see a picture, or when I see the eyes of the clients. And then it starts intuitively. I start to talk what I see. And when a person booked a Starseed origin reading, then I'm staying focused on the galactic past lives, or the purpose, or the origins. And then I start to talk and I describe what I see in this person.
Okay, so when you're looking into the eyes, I notice it's always called the windows of the soul there, so you're really getting into it. Hey, do you actually, because I mean you speak German and you're doing English really well as well, and you're doing the light languages, so you work in any other human languages? I mean, you're very close to other countries there, like you're Polish, or you're dealing with Swiss.
No. The people booking sessions all over the world. When I started with YouTube, most of the people were Germans, because I offered German content. And I have to thank a very good soul sister, because she pushed me that I have to offer English content. And actually, I can't speak English. And I started with English content for, I don't know, for a couple of years ago, 3 or 2 years ago, I started to offer English content. So before, I never spoke English again. So she said, my higher self told me, and your galactic family is saying you have to offer English content. And she was an amazing soul sister from the USA. And she was guided to me, because that's very funny, because she speaks German a little bit. Yes. And yeah, she understands German, but she speaks English as well. And then she said, come on, record the English reading for me. And I told her, I can't. How should I do that? I can't speak English. And she said, it's okay. You can speak German as well. I will understand you. And through her, yeah, I'm so grateful for her. She pushed me to offer English services and English content on YouTube.
Well, I'm glad she did. But I remember saying to you a little while ago, you kept apologizing for your German.
Yeah, I apologize all the time for my English.
Yeah, and I said, you need to stop, because most of us can't even talk good English. So, you're doing 2 languages. So, well, not most of us, speaking for myself. But so, no, you're doing fantastic. Keep shining and keep sharing. I just really enjoy your channelings in the light languages. So, and I know when Jeff played the heart activation, the first, because I think it's about 44 minutes long, I could feel the energy and I could feel it in my heart. I could feel this emotion straight away within 4 minutes. I could really feel it.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm so grateful that you invited me to this show, because I can all the time practice my English skills. That's very cool. Thank you very much.
Okay, so whereabouts in Germany are you based in? I mean, can you go walking around lakes or woods, or you're in the metropolitan city?
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated, because at the moment the situation is very chaotic here in Germany. And at the moment we're staying in a village, so it's better for us. Yeah, but when we would go into a city, we feel that so strong in our body. My twin flame Marcel as well. It's like what I told you before. We feel that so intense. What's going on in the people and how they feel right now. So, and when they feel scared or angry, so we feel their emotions so strong. So I think it's better at the moment that we are in a village at the moment.
Yeah, well, you can actually get out and about, and you can hear the birds, and you got the other wildlife around you, and it's the sounds of nature that really provide that mental stimulus, isn't it?
Yeah, we are very close to nature right now, and I like Germany because of the nature, because Germany has a very strong energy. Actually, the nature is vibrating very strong here. Or when you go down to South Bavaria or down to Austria, Switzerland, right, the mountains. So it's a very strong energy there. It's grounding a lot.
Beautiful,
yeah,
fantastic.
It's very beautiful. Yeah.
So,
but it's more the government and more the political situation that's more stressful at the moment. Yeah. So, and it's what I'm getting by many people, that they are stressed and scared. So.
Yeah.
So you just got to rise above it, don't you? So that's when you meet like-minded people and sharing your experiences, isn't it?
Yes, of course. So,
and there's a huge network of Starseeds, light workers. Whatever people want. When I've read some of your comments, like there's hundreds sometimes of people sharing what they felt, or thanking you for what you do, because you are just helping so many. And I know there's a few comments popping up thanking you for what you do, because you've come in so young to be of service to the planet and humanity, and and I know I've listened to some of your stories on YouTube, so I know it hasn't been easy for you. So you're doing wonderful work, so keep shining.
Thank you. We continue. Yeah. We don't stop.
Now, I bet, do you get interruptions in dream state when you're sleeping? Do they sort of say, wake up? I've got this message.
Yeah, time after time. So even the dark ones, they want to interrupt. Yeah. So, for example, I guess it was on Monday. Yeah, very strange things happened in the government because we have a new president, for example. And then I received these messages during the dreams. Then I have very crazy dreams. So then I wake up all the time, and then I fell into sleep again, and then I wake up again. So, and that's this, then I receive all the information in the back. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what I do all the time, but I receive all the time messages and information, what's going on in the back. Or sometimes this happened for 2 weeks ago, circa, that I saw all the time visions of the USA, for example, what's happening there. So then I have lucid dreams of them or about the government in the USA. So, and this is coming to me mostly during the night. So yeah, and time after time they try to interrupt the dark ones. Yeah.
So what can we do as a collective, like being Starseeds, whatever, do now to help through this big shift? Is what's going on?
Yeah,
What
that we are, unite. This is very important, I think, so that we are connected, that we try to have meetups, or I think even Facebook or Telegram, WhatsApp. I think so. There are many Starseed groups that we are connected, that we are supporting each other, that we talk about our feelings and emotions, because so many Starseeds, they feel this loneliness. So that they got the feeling they can't talk about their feelings, about their visions, because almost nobody got them, right? So, and they feel alone. And I think for us, it's very important that we are helping each other, that we express ourselves now, because more and more people are waking up now, and they are guided to us intuitively, because they feel there must be more, there is more. And then they start to search up for the subjects on YouTube. This is very fascinating to observe that progress, that these people become more and more famous. Yeah, that more people are searching up for the subjects. And this is what I get all the time, that we step up, that we share our visions with humanity, and that we are supporting each other as best we can. And when possible, then that we meet each other physical as well. Yeah, that we have real meetups. I think so it's also important.
Yeah. I know, I don't know about anywhere else, but I know in the UK on a Sunday, there's groups everywhere that meet up in the park, stand in the park.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
excuse me.
While she's doing that, we do have them here in Australia. There's a group that just meets down the road here, 10 o'clock in the morning to 11, but most of them have been there till 1 o'clock. And there's a cafe next door to the park. So a lot of us actually gone off to the cafe afterwards for a lunch. So it's actually building community, isn't it? So, and it's quite surreal, because I went to a meeting last night with 650 people turned up, and it only took 5 days to put that together, and they had the most eloquent speakers there on a range of subjects. They're all given 10 minutes, and they were very straightforward, shot from the hip, spoken the Australian vernacular, which means those people are talking bullshit. So I mean, that's just Australian way of speaking. So you knew that they were coming from a heart space by saying, "Nah, this is bullshit." And everybody walked out realizing that they weren't alone. It was a very powerful evening, and that's been happening right around.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Marcel and me, we started to visit raw vegan events or vegan events. Yeah, because there are also very alternative people there, right? So, and many of them, I'm not kidding, were starseeds, but they were not awakened yet, because many starseeds are guided to alternative subjects, or they go to psytrance festivals, for example, because it's more out of the box. Yeah, many starseeds, even when they're not awakened yet, they are all the time guided to alternative groups or communities, because they want to figure out what's going on with them. Yeah, this is the deep search up in your heart. So, and I met so many starseeds, even when they were not awakened, on vegan festivals, vegan events, or psytrance festivals, because they are guided intuitively to each other. And then you have the connection even when they're not awakened yet. So, and we met very cool people even on the raw vegan events or potlucks. We call it potlucks here. So everyone is creating a dish, and then we are eating.
Yep.
And that's booming here in Germany, the vegan community. The spiritual community is not so many people talking about spirituality or about starseeds, but the vegan community is booming in Germany. Yeah.
Wow. So going back to the stand in the park, I know friends in Bristol and surrounding, they've all met up. And then, like Jeff, they've all gone out together for a coffee afterwards, and they're building up networks. And, it's sort of rippling out and it's growing. Links are going here, there, and everywhere. It's just like the undercover movement. But
It's grassroots, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
I went to an event there where pretty close to 50,000 people turned up, and I mean, I wasn't there at Woodstock, but I would say it was a bit like Woodstock in the terms of the love. You could feel the love from grandma and granddad, and they got the kids in the stroller, and you got all age groups participating, and it was really a place of really warmth and love. It was back to the days when we worked 6 days, and then, or even on the 6th day was you knocked off at midday, but Sundays was a day when you got with the families and cousins and relations, and you went to the beach, or you went to the woods, for a picnic, and that's the atmosphere and the energy that was there on that particular day. It was an awesome experience, contrary to what other broadcasters would have you believe.
Mm.
Next question, Andrena.
Yeah, of course, like everybody's on a different journey, and even though we can't understand some of their journeys, and you think, really, and then they can't even understand where we're at, and they think, oh, where's she at? Or, it's all you can do is follow your heart and be true to yourself. And like I shared a post about honoring your soul, and with what's going on, you must feel something in your soul that there are some things that aren't right, and it is literally following your heart and sitting with yourself, and just allowing whatever's going on radiating out from within.
Yes, of course. We have to be the change we want to see in the world. We have to start with the new world. So, and I think it starts from within, that we shift our consciousness level. So many people are talking about ascension or 5D, but I think it starts from within at first, that we shift our consciousness level up to 5D, because when our perspective is changing, or we have another state of consciousness, so then we are creating a new world together, because we are treating each other differently. We see each other from another perspective. And I think the first step is that the shift starts from within, that we are the change.
And I often feel, when people get really angry about what's going on, and they're really reacting, I always think you need to look why it's triggering you. What do you need to heal within? So that once you heal within, and we're all coming from the same heart space, we can make massive changes along the way.
Yeah.
And this is what this show is about. Dreaming the new dream is who anybody that's making a difference in any way, be it on the earth, in the planet, with food, to do with animals, it's all about what they've got to offer, what they want to share with the world. So, and I've been blessed to have some really interesting speakers sharing their story and what they do.
Yeah.
It's like a box of chocolates. It's some you think, oh, I don't think I'll bother with that, but oh, I like that one. And I know I've gone through some of the back recordings, and I've been listening to them, and I just think, wow, there's just so much going on out there that people are sharing. It's just lovely.
Of course, especially when people are happy. So I enjoy this so much when I see happy people. So even when I would do it, but when they are happy and they express their unique soul, so this makes me so happy. So and everyone is becoming individual again. So and this is my big wish for humanity, that the people start to remember who they are, and that every one of us is so unique. To be like a child a little bit again, right? That we express our soul without these limitations here. Yeah.
So have you met many other beings that are on the same wavelength as you, so to speak, doing light language and ETs and all that? Have you met many other beings along your, you've connected with like your planetary soul tribe, if you like?
Yeah, at the moment, more online, that I know many other, light code people. Yeah, they're transmitting light codes. We are planning projects together. That's very cool. And I know a few people, they are here located in Germany or in Austria, a few people. But here in Germany and in the center of Europe, it's not very well known. Almost nobody is doing that or is talking about it. It's totally unknown here. Yeah,
Right.
but the most of the people online right now. So, and they are doing a very great job, and it's so fascinating. Everyone is speaking a little bit different and has another light language. So, and the energy is coming through, and that's so fascinating. So, even when a person is channeling Arcturians as well, so the light language and the frequency sounds a little bit different again. So, and this is very fascinating to see how colorful we are. So, yeah, of course. And light language is very cool because it's helping me, and I think so other people, that they go back into their heart, because this is 5D. Our heart is 5D. So, and actually, light language or light codes are vibrating so much faster because you receive more information during a shorter time as we speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's happening all faster. That's cool because you open your heart and you only feel the energy, not more.
Yeah, light language is very fast, isn't it? I
Yes.
know there's another guy in Australia, he does it. And when I first heard him, it was so fast. I thought you couldn't even try and do a little bit of what he did. It was just like, oh my God, it was just amazing. So, yeah, no, I just enjoy it all. So,
Yeah, and
and
there are so cool people on TikTok as well. So TikTok is booming, really. There are so
is
many
it?
cool people and they're speaking that language or they dance. That's very cool. I can't do it, but I enjoy that when people are dancing. And they're transmuting codes with their hands. That's very, very cool. So TikTok is booming. Yeah, there are so many people and they speak that language. That's very cool.
I got to admit, I'm not the greatest of being online and technology. I really, I deal with it as best I can, but all these different platforms and messages, it's just like, just far too much for me. But then I'm the older brigade, so
Yeah, younger people are mostly there. Yeah,
yeah.
they are on TikTok. Yeah.
You have to talk to Akura there and just ask to speak German, mate. She can do English just like that. There's a challenge for you. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Akura or slash Sandra there. With your singing and that, hang on a sec, I'll rephrase that. Remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and then the craft came down, and then we started playing all these different notes as you would see in a song sheet. And so they were giving them the so-called alphabet in order to communicate with them. So in your understanding with the light language, have you come to a realization within your own persona that when the words are coming through, you know now the actual alphabet, the actual syntax of the language? Have you sort of now starting to realize that you now learn English and you know how to put words together to create a sentence? Have you come to an understanding now that when someone comes through from Syrian, you know their syntax or their language, you can actually now write it down and basically write a script on that particular language and then pass that on. And so Marcel, for example, you can just read that and see the interpretation. Are you currently doing that?
I don't get it for 100%. Do you mean that I can translate the language or?
Yeah, like in the movie itself. Have you ever seen the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
No. I don't know this.
Okay.
You're probably too young.
Oh, stuff on YouTube, mate. I'm quite sure of it. Somewhere. Netflix or something, I'm quite sure it must be out there. Okay, in that particular, what's the name? Who made that? Steve, what's the name? He actually did a representation where they used color codes and using the music song sheet, where you got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and you got the minors and all that stuff and the majors. So they were just doing the color codes, and they were all of a sudden they handed it over to the computer system, and the computer was just taking it all on, and then they realized they had the language of the visitors from outer space. So they had an understanding of language now, and the language was also sound and color. If you hadn't seen the movie, I apologize. I thought you might have. But,
no, but it sounds interesting.
All right. Okay. So where I'm going with that was for you personally, when we played this Arcturian YouTube there for the 2.5 minutes there, you go into the light language, and then you come through and you give an English translation of it. Have you now come to the understanding, even with you asking your higher self, and you've gone from German into English, you've been able to communicate with us by putting words together to create sentences to be able to have a conversation with us. Have you now, with these individual light languages from different star systems, have you now been able to basically write pages of light language, but at the same time, when you look at it, what that represents? You got a full understanding of that language now in your German mind, and then your English mind. Is that where you're at now?
Yeah.
Can you sit with that at the moment?
Yeah. It's when I translate it in English, that's true. I have to think a little bit about, because it's not my mother tongue, right?
Yes.
A little bit. Then I have to tune into here. Yeah. But I received the message intuitively. When I listen to that light language, then sometimes I can translate the information, or the basic information. And it does exist people, and they are creating light codes, and they're writing them down. So that's also very cool. It does exist very cool artists, and they're creating these codes, and even signs like A, B, C, but also in other forms. That is also very cool. Yeah, but I feel it more. I use that to transmute the frequency, and sometimes I receive the message, and then I translate it as best I can in English. Yeah.
Right. So, Karen?
I was just going to share that I've had quite a few dreams, and they were mainly in Australia, about being on a ship and being with lots of people, and the mountain just opened up, and out came this massive craft. And then I've had other ones where I've been sat in front of a great big screen with big squares, and that had different symbols along, and I was there doing I don't know what doing a lot of strings in my dreams. So, but I haven't had so much since I'm back in the UK. But obviously the energy's a lot more solid, more denser over here than it is in Australia. So
Yeah, that's very fascinating. I didn't try to create symbols, so maybe I can give them a trial as well. So let's see what's popping up.
you never know, eh?
Yeah. But
Right.
I feel that most of the beings, they have another language like us. I get the Pleiadian group. They have a language. That's what I feel in the Syrian people also. Yeah, this is what I get. They have a language, but Arcturians not really, because they are too multidimensional. These are 9-dimensional beings or higher, so they are non-physical. They have no body. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So there's a question there from Francis there. She's in Queensland here. What's your understanding of someone's purpose here? I suppose that comes back to asking for a reading, in the sense of that's what they would be knocking on your door, wouldn't they? They'd be coming to you to say, can you shed some enlightenment as to who I am and why I'm here? I mean, everybody would come through with that understanding somewhere in their life. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's the heart center. So you feel it when your heart is very wide open. Or the childhood can be a reminder as well, because when we were a child, so we felt what we want to do. For example, I wanted to sing all the time. I felt it so much. I want to create artwork. So, and then I grew up in the opposite. Yeah, that the dynamics, it was almost impossible to sing or to express myself there. So, and your heart center is a very good sign to figure it out, that we go deep within, and that we stop with the monkey mind a little bit, so that we trust our hearts and not to think about it. Can I earn money with that? I can't do it. What will the neighbors say? What will my family say? This is all this, so that we are too much focused on other people. But when I'm honest with myself, what is my favorite free time activity? Or when I tune back into my childhood, so what was my biggest dream? So what do I feel for real? And actually we have the answer, or the universe is supporting us as well, that the universe is sending us signs all the time, right? For example, people came to me for so many times, or they asked me for support, right? So all the time that they ask me, can you help me? Do you have a tip or advice? And that happened to me, that people came to me because the people feel intuitively your purpose and the frequency. Or you had a job offer, for example, and it comes to you. And then the mind is coming, no, I can't do it. No, then I have to change the situation. Or what will my family say? So, and then we don't do it. So it's actually very simple. And the purpose means that we manifest what our soul is telling us without any filter, without interruptions, that it becomes one. The mind and the heart, that it becomes one. Yeah. So that we use our mind also. How can I manifest it? How this should work out? I need money. I have to pay for my flat. So I think that's important to see. But how can I manifest these dreams? That it becomes one. That we create these dreams into the physical reality. And that we stay present in the moment, and that we enjoy every moment. This is all what we have. And then you see that really everything makes sense. So when I look back, because through all this darkness and Marcel's darkness, so we were guided to each other. And I think because all this happened to us, even this darkness, we were guided to each other, because through these experiences, we increased our frequency. So, and then we met each other. Or even this crazy experience for a couple of months ago. So when I look back, I'm so grateful for this experience, because now I can meet you, I can talk to you, I know so much more what my real purpose is, and that I have only this precious moment and not more. So it helped me to shift my consciousness level again. So, but when we stayed in this process, when we were surrounded by these holograms a couple of months ago, it was very horrible there. We didn't get why we are here. So why this is happening to us? So I cried all the time, because it was almost impossible to escape this crazy holographic world. But we said there must be a reason. And afterwards, I'm so grateful for these experiences, because they shared with us their crazy network of the dark ones, how they are working with which technology. So we saw their entire plans for humanity, and we figured so much more out what is our real purpose on Earth. So, and for me, it's like now I do it so much more with so much more passion, because it can be over so fast. So, and now we see that everything made sense again, even this crazy experience. So, and this is my personal tip, but this is more the higher consciousness level. Yeah, by the Octurian people, they see it more from this perspective, that everything is a part of the process. So, and also the dark situations, all this what's happening now, at the end, we will get why this happened. So then we will understand it.
Yeah, definitely. Right. I was going to say something then, but it's popped out. So, Jeff, over to you.
Well, okay. I think we might just wind it up there. But everybody now knows we've got your website up there. Hang on, what's this? I would be interested in hearing what is happening with the Australian energy. It's a pretty profound statement. Just certain pockets there that the political leaders seem to be carrying a little dark energy there, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel that Australia is very complicated and dark. It feels almost similar to Austria and center of Europe a little bit, but I think Australia is a little bit darker to us at the moment. So it feels to me like they want to make this test or this experiment in Australia first, and even in the center of Europe. So the same, we have the mandatory peaks in Austria, and in Germany they're talking about it too. They want to have it too here. So it's like they want to make these experiments mostly in these regions. At one hand, where the energy were very light, yeah, that then boom, lower the frequency, that the people are in fear because the dark ones can deal with fear and with shame so much better than when people are happy. For them, this is punishment when people are happy, or when the energy were dark before. So then they think, we can do it with them because they are not awakened yet. So, okay, so then we do it here. In the center of Europe here, I feel, yes, it was dark before. So that's why they do it here so crazy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the awakening of the masses what's happening now. So.
Well, Australia's definitely waking up. I mean, 500, 600, 700,000 people turned up in Melbourne and walked down the streets there. I mean, Sydney had 300,000. Brisbane had, 50-something thousand people. Perth had similar. So there's a mobilisation there that is grassroots in it. So, and the fact is everybody's coming together in love and holding that space, which is most important. So, I think definitely a big shift here, and it's, if Australia can continue with that push. I notice some of the political parties now, they don't even bother turning up. They just feel they're above it all. But we've seen this before in Australia's political world. In 1974, we had Gough Whitlam, and a lot of people came out in the streets for Gough Whitlam. And then in 1985, 86, we had a similar switch there where people, the grassroots, got behind a political party called One Nation in Queensland here. They just took 11 seats just like that. So it seems to me that we're going to see that again. When you're not renting people to turn up to do a demonstration, people are coming in their own free will. And as I said to you before, there was grandparents there, and you've got the families turning up with their children, and basically all ages. And because of Australia's really people who've migrated to Australia, we're actually seeing those people who've come from repressed societies realizing they've escaped that type of lifestyle to come to Australia because they had the freedom. They're stepping up, and so we're seeing all the different people from ethnic toxicity coming in and realizing, hey, we're here to defend the human life, the sentient life. So I've really got really positive outlook for Australia to rise above all this, and we'll see the draconian, word, draconian aspects being removed from this planet.
Yeah, but I personally feel that Australia vibrated very light before, isn't it? Is that true? So when I tuned into Australia, so I felt actually the energy of Australia is vibrating very light. Actually, New Zealand as well. The energy there of nature and the landscape. Is that true?
I'm going to say yes. And I'd suggest to you that because of the vast emptiness of Australia and its previous custodians that have been in this world, we haven't really had major conflicts like you've got in the area of Saxon, which has been a hive of wars and so forth. I mean, the Scandinavians with their 30-year war, you don't see the Scandinavians, bickering and fighting. And England's always been notorious for invading other countries. So there's a certain spirit within in England there that likes to dominate, and that seems to have moved across to America, and America seems to have been a community that for 276 years are continually going to war somewhere. It's almost like the Roman Empire translated itself and moved across to America whereas Australia's been and New Zealand's been quite away from that whole scenario. And so then to answer your question, it has been an energy of softness and freedom, and you can feel that when you come into Australia. You can feel the expansiveness of your auric field when you travel around and get out and about through nature and the beach, or even going into the outback. And in the outback, when you've got no city lights and you just see the stars coming all the way down to the horizon, it's just a surreal understanding where your soul's really at home, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I think they wanted to lower the frequency there very strong. That's why I think Australia is so dark right now, because they wanted to lower the frequency. Very massive in Australia. Yeah.
You're exactly right.
But in the center of Europe, it was dark before. So Switzerland is very dark as well. Austria is dark. Germany. So like I told you, not many people, they are not interested in spirituality, and really they believe almost everything what the media is telling them. But a few people are waking up right now. They see something is off a little bit, right? So I think the UK is similar to us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, similar.
Well, I think what's happening in Australia, we're seeing an interesting federal government that's not lifting a finger to protect its citizens under federal law, and we're allowing these little chiefdoms in the little states there to repress people with something that's really of no interest. It really doesn't impact on people's lives, and the suppression that's been complicit with the mainstream media. That's been interesting. I mean, the media itself has been suffering financially, and you've seen that over the last 7-8 years. Then when Facebook came in, and Twitter and Spotify, where people were moved away from traditional forms of media and to take those other platforms, and the income was drying up in those major media players, where they're networking their shows and reducing their staff. And now we're seeing the money's come back into those media organizations, and doing so, they're only doing the one narrative. So that's not journalism. There's no balance in the journalism anywhere. In the old days, you would actually get a balanced news service. So you would get both sides of the story. But today, when you see a publication out on the stand there, it's actually directed to a different demographic audience. So they've really got it down to a very fine edge, a cutting edge of saying, right, I'm going for the 16-year-olds here, I'm going for the 60-year-old here, and we're going for this particular individual. So we're seeing, like in the major media, you'll see, right, we're going to go for the conservatives. We're going to go for those people who've built a business, and they're business people and they understand what it takes to run a business. And then we got the others who are saying, right, we're going for the blue collar worker. We're going for the guy who's got his hands dirty. So we're going to talk to him. And so we're actually splitting up our society into these different polarities. And they're focusing on these different polarities to split us up. And so, there's a guy back in the 16th century, I think his name was Lord Machiavelli. He said, if you don't have an enemy, create one, divide and rule. So Machiavelli is a form of us and them. So I think the movement that's taken around the world is we're making people aware and awake, but we're making people feel inclusive. So we're not actually saying, because you believe that, that's fine. If you're more than welcome to come and join us, if you can stay in your only little patch, that's fine with us as well, as long as you've got the freedom to be able to understand where you're at. And maybe, you might be able to open your eyes and see that this game has been played out to your soul's detriment, and also your family's detriment, and your offspring, it's coming later.
Yeah, I think it's very important that the Australian people unite and that they create new communities, I think, so that you are helping each other. Does exist communities in Australia, alternative communities, and they are supporting each other?
There's always been people off the grid, and there are communities that have evolved and have come. I mean, sure, we've seen the import of say the Buddhist fraternity have come in here, and the chaos and all that stuff, and they set up their places of spiritual, what would you call it, contemplation. I mean, the English, in the Catholicism was you couldn't eat meat on a Friday, so you'd see all the Catholics down at the fish and chip shop on a Friday night, and there wasn't any diversity of food. And then when our migration changed and came into Australia, you see the likes of every kind of food connoisseur from all around the world is now in Australia, and you see this blending of traditions and culture. Australia's really evolved in the last 40 years. It's,
Good.
very
That
much
sounds
enriched. Yeah, I would call it a Noah's Ark, to be perfectly honest.
good. Yeah. And then we'll see if the masses will wake up soon. But I think it's a universal law for me. When it's getting very, very dark, the light has to come. So, and when it's getting very worse and very dark, so then the light is waiting behind the darkness. So then you can be sure that it's getting very light. So, and I believe that even in Central of Europe, it will be very light because it's so dark, and it was dark all the time here, really very heavy. So not on the material level, right? But more on the soul level, very pure. So, and I think that the light is returning and is waiting behind the darkness and behind the chaos. So that what is happening global for me is the awakening of the masses. And yeah, it's still a war. And I told the people that this galactic war is coming down into our reality. And in higher dimensions, it was very explosive, very explosive, and then everything was clear. So I'm not sure if this will happen to us, but maybe it's the same here on Earth. So it's very explosive, and then after that explosion, everything is clear. Yeah, so and it was all the time the same in higher dimensions. Very close, but then after that, it was very clear. So we will see.
Yep. All right there, Andrena. Yeah. Has you got a microphone on?
Yeah, it's still off.
I'll turn it on.
Talking to myself here. Yeah, we've gone a little over time, but just listening to you sharing, and it's been really fascinating and gives a lot of people more of an insight of where they're at, what's going on, being in their heart center, and and reaching out to community. That, like you said, there's so many groups setting up now, meeting in the park on a Sunday, and all of these things. So, it's like the light is, we're all coming together more and more, and then it's just like,
yes, it's shifting. Boom. Yeah, and everything is clear. Yeah, Archangel Michael. And he's working a lot at the moment as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they must be on overtime, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you very much for coming and sharing all
Thank
of
you also very much.
And it's lovely connecting with you.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful. And thank you so much for inviting me. Really, you are also awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you. Ciao.